Drake 7 platform's been my home 8 months a year since 2019. 2-week rotations, 23 people total, though we're down to skeleton crew for winter shutdown. Just 11 of us now. I'm lead systems engineer. That means when the heating loops freeze or the pressure valves stick, I'm the one crawling through access tunnels at 3 a.m. with a DeWalt impact wrench and a prayer. My daughter Lily just turned 7 last month. I missed it. Again. Her mom, my ex, technically, though the divorce won't finalize until I'm back stateside in April. She sent me a video. Lily blowing out candles shaped like a unicorn. The cake from Safeway, the one with too much frosting that costs $32. I watched that video maybe 40 times. Lily's got my eyes, everyone says. Dark brown, almost black. In the video, she's looking right at the camera when she makes her wish, and I swear she's looking at me specifically. Wishing I was there. Probably wishing I'd be there for her 8th birthday too. I won't be. The crude sample came up Tuesday. We're not supposed to be drilling. This is maintenance season. We winterize equipment and wait for the thaw. But Valdez wanted one more geological survey before the quarterly report. Corporate stuff. The kind of decision that makes sense in a Houston boardroom and makes no damn sense when you're the one operating a drill bit through permafrost at -40. Remy pulled the core sample himself. Remy Duchamp, Cajun guy from Terrebonne Parish, been on Drake 7 longer than anyone except Patterson, our facility manager. Remy does things by the book. Always. That's why when he came into the engineering bay at 11:47 p.m., I remember the time because I was watching the pressure readouts tick down, counting the minutes until I could grab 4 hours of sleep. I knew something was off. The crude's wrong, Remy said. Not, hey, got a weird sample or want to take a look? Just, the crude's wrong. I was elbow deep in valve housing.
Se al replacement.
Routine. Wrong how? It's moving. I stopped. Set down the wrench. Moving, like it's got. Remy made a gesture with his hands, like he was trying to shape something in the air. Like it's breathing. Come look. The sample was in Lab 2, which is just a glorified storage room with a fume hood and a spectrometer we never use. The core cylinder sat on the workbench under the halogen lamp. Standard stuff. 30 inches of compressed sediment and crude, mostly black with brown striations where the geological layers changed. I've seen maybe 300 of these. Oil doesn't move. Oil sits there being oil until you refine it or burn it or dump it in the Gulf. This oil was moving, not flowing, not liquid moving. It was pulsing, like a heartbeat. The black surface would bulge up maybe a millimeter, then flatten. Bulge, flatten. Consistent rhythm, maybe 80 beats per minute. Human resting heart rate. That's not oil, I said. Spectrometer says it is. 93% petroleum hydrocarbon. The rest is... Remy checked his tablet. Organic compounds the software doesn't recognize. I leaned closer. The smell hit me. Crude oil has a smell. Everyone knows that, sort of chemical sweet and ancient at the same time. But this had something else underneath. Something rotten. Not gasoline rotten. Meat rotten. When did you pull this? 6 hours ago. Wasn't doing this at first. Started maybe 2 hours ago, right after it reached room temperature. Room temperature. We keep the samples cold, usually. Slows degradation. But the climate control in Lab 2 has been touchy since October. I've got it on my maintenance list for spring, along with about 40 other things that won't kill anyone if they break. And the temperature in here was probably 65-70 degrees. The crude pulsed again. This time I saw something move under the surface. Not a bubble. Something solid. Something that looked like it was pushing against the inside of the sample, trying to get out. We're sealing this, I said. And we're calling Patterson. Already did. He's in bed. Says to monitor it and report at 0600. Of course he did. Patterson's a good manager. Fair. Doesn't micromanage, actually listens when you tell him something's broken. But he's also a company man. Spent 20 years on North Slope platforms before taking the facility manager position. He's seen weird things come out of the ground. Probably figures this is just some bacterial colony that'll die once we refrigerate it again. The crude pulsed twice in rapid succession. The bulge was bigger this time, 4 millimeters, and it stayed raised for a moment like something underneath was pressing up, testing the resistance. "Get me the containment locker," I said. Remy already had it open. We transferred the core cylinder into the steel box, the kind we use for toxic materials, rubber-sealed, airtight, and I locked it. The pulsing was still visible through the inspection window. Steady, patient. "You ever see anything like this?" Remy asked.
No.
"But I've only been doing this 6 years. You, 15 years in petroleum. Never." We stood there watching the sample pulse in its box. The rhythm was hypnotic, predictable, like it was waiting for something. "I'm logging this as a biohazard," I said. "Pending Patterson's review. Valdez won't like that. They need this data for the quarterly. Valdez can drill another sample after we know what the hell this is." Remy nodded. He's good people. Doesn't argue when something's clearly wrong, even if it means paperwork and delayed schedules and unhappy executives in Houston who've never been north of Dallas. I sealed Lab 2 and locked it. Access restricted to me, Remy, and Patterson. Then I went back to the engineering bay and tried to focus on the valve seals, but I kept thinking about that pulsing crude, about the thing moving underneath, about the smell. At 3:17 a.m., I gave up on sleep and went to check the sample again. The pulsing had stopped. The crude sat there in the containment box looking like every other crude sample I'd ever seen. Dark, still, dead. But the smell was stronger now. Strong enough that I could smell it through the rubber seal on the containment box. Strong enough that it made my stomach turn. I called Lily's mom. "Got voicemail. Hey, it's me. I know it's late there, early I guess. Just wanted to hear Lily's voice. I'll try again later. Love you both." I haven't said love you both in maybe 8 months, since the separation. But standing there in Lab 2 at 3 a.m., watching crude oil that shouldn't be alive, smelling rot that shouldn't exist, I needed to say it. Needed her to have it on record, just in case. Patterson reviewed the sample at 0630. Brought Dr. Yoon with him. She's our medical officer, technically here for workplace injuries and the occasional flu, but she's got a biology background. University of Washington, marine microbiology. She takes one look at the crude through the inspection window and says, "That's not moving anymore. It stopped around 0315, I tell her. "But it was definitely moving before." Remy saw it too. Patterson's already got his tablet out, typing notes. Moving how? Pulsing, like a heartbeat, consistent rhythm, approximately 80 BPM. And there was something under the surface, something solid. Dr. Yoon's forehead wrinkles. She's maybe 45, Korean American. Keeps her hair in a tight bun that makes her look perpetually stern even though she's actually pretty relaxed most of the time. Patched me up last year when I caught my hand in a pressure clamp. 17 stitches. She made jokes about my pain tolerance the whole time. "Can we extract a subsample?" "Not in Lab 2, I say. "We don't have proper biocontainment. If there's something alive in there..." Patterson interrupts. "Then it came from 3,000 feet underground. It's been sealed in sedimentary rock for..." "What did the geological survey estimate?" Remy checks his notes. "Core depth suggests late Pleistocene. Approximately 15,000 years. 15,000 years, Patterson repeats. "Whatever it is, it's not a threat. It's probably already dead from oxygen exposure." But I'm watching Dr. Yoon's face, and she doesn't look convinced. She's leaning close to the containment box now, studying the crude. The spectrometer results showed 7% unknown organic compounds. That's significant. That's not normal crude composition. Could be anything, Patterson says. Bacterial colonies, fungal growth, decomposed biological matter from the Pleistocene epoch. Could be, Dr. Yoon agrees. But Remy, you said this started after the sample reached room temperature? Yes, ma'am. It was inert when I first pulled it. started pulsing maybe 90 minutes after we brought it inside. So it's responding to environmental stimulus. That suggests active biological processes, not just bacterial colonies. Dr. Yoon straightens up. I need to extract a subsample for microscopic analysis. But I agree with Remy, we need proper containment protocols. Patterson's already shaking his head. We're a skeleton crew running winter maintenance. We don't have BSL-3 containment. We barely have functional HVAC in this section. I feel my jaw tightening. Patterson's not wrong, we're not equipped for this. But that's exactly why we shouldn't be messing with it. Then we seal it and wait for the rotation crew. They arrive in 4 days. We can have a proper biotech team flown in from Anchorage. Valdez needs the geological data by Friday, Patterson says, for the quarterly report. This sample is the last piece. There it is. The real reason we're having this conversation. Not safety, not protocol, corporate deadlines. With respect, Remy says, and I know Remy, he only uses with respect when he's about to politely tell someone they're being an idiot. If this is a biological contamination in our crude supply, the quarterly report doesn't matter. The whole operation shuts down until we know what it is. Patterson sighs. He's looking at the sample now, really looking at it. I can see him doing the math in his head. Shutdown costs versus risk assessment versus career implications of overreacting to what might be nothing. Compromise, he says finally. Dr. Yoon extracts 1 subsample minimum necessary in Lab 2 with full PPE. We run analysis. If it's bacterial colonies or dead organic matter, we proceed with logging. If it's something else, we shut down and call it in to Valdez. Dr. Yoon nods. I can work with that. I don't like it, but Patterson's not asking my permission. I want Remy and me in the room when you do the extraction, in case something goes wrong. Agreed, Patterson says. 1,400 hours. That gives us time to prep and review safety protocols. The extraction takes 17 minutes. Dr. Yoon works slowly, carefully. Full hazmat suit, double-gloved, face shield over the respirator. Remy and I are just inside the doorway in our standard PPE. Not rated for biological hazards, but better than nothing. She uses a clean syringe to pierce the core sample. The crude resists at first surface tension holding, then the needle punches through. Dr. Yoon draws back the plunger. The crude that fills the syringe is darker than the surrounding sample, almost black-red. And there are, I don't know what to call them, filaments? Thread-like structures suspended in the liquid, moving independently, not floating, moving, with purpose. Dr. Yoon transfers the subsample to a microscope slide, seals it and carries it to the scope. The rest of us crowd around the monitor as she focuses. The image resolves. The filaments aren't threads. They're something organic. Maybe cellular structures, maybe something else. They're translucent, almost crystalline, and they're definitely moving. Extending, retracting. One of them branches, splitting into 2 thinner filaments that reach out in different directions. That's not bacteria, Dr. Yoon says quietly. What is it? Patterson asks. I don't know. The structure it's almost like neural tissue, like nerve cells, but the organization is wrong. This isn't any terrestrial organism I recognize. Could it be contamination from the drilling equipment? I suggest. Machine oil mixing with the crude? Dr. Yoon shakes her head. Machine oil doesn't move. And look at this. She adjusts the focus. One of the filaments has reached the edge of the slide, where a small air bubble is trapped. The filament touches the bubble, and for a second, nothing happens. Then the filament penetrates the bubble, pierces it. The bubble doesn't pop, the filament is inside it now, and I can see the air inside the bubble starting to darken, starting to fill with that same black-red color. It's spreading, Remy says, into the air. Dr. Yoon kills the sample immediately, floods the slide with bleach solution, then seals it in a biohazard bag. Her hands are shaking, just slightly, but I notice. We're shutting down, she says. Right now. This needs to go to CDC or USAMRIID. This is beyond our capability. Patterson doesn't argue. He's staring at the monitor, at the frozen image of those filaments reaching, searching. I'll call Valdez. Get emergency evacuation authorized. How long until the helicopter can get here? Ask. Weather's turning, Patterson says. Storm system moving in from the Bering Sea. We might have a 6-hour window tomorrow morning. After that, we could be socked in for 3-4 days. We seal Lab 2 and the containment box, Dr. Yoon says. No one goes in until evacuation. We dispose of this on the mainland. Agreed. Patterson's already heading for the door. I'm calling Valdez now. Remy, inventory all crude samples we've collected this season. I want to know if this is isolated or if we've got more infected material. Remy follows him out. Dr. Yoon starts cleaning her equipment, but I can see her eyes keep flicking back to the containment box. You've never seen anything like this, I say. Not a question.
No.
And that scares me more than if I had. She strips off the hazmat suit, careful not to touch the exterior surface. 15,000 years in the ground. No oxygen, no light, sub-zero temperatures for most of that time. What kind of organism survives that? Maybe it wasn't alive. Maybe it was dormant, like those bacterial spores they find in ice cores. Maybe, but she doesn't sound convinced. Remy, when you said it started after reaching room temperature, did you notice anything else? Any other changes? The smell? I say, remembering. It smelled like rot, like meat going bad. Dr. Yoon goes very still. Organic decomposition. Protein breakdown. She looks at me. What if it's not surviving dormancy? What if it's metabolizing? Consuming organic material to fuel reactivation. There's no organic material in crude oil. It's just hydrocarbons. Crude oil is organic material. It's fossilized biological matter. Plankton, algae, prehistoric organisms compressed under geological pressure for millions of years. She's talking faster now, working through the logic. If this organism evolved to metabolize petroleum, if that's its food source, then we just gave it exactly what it needs by warming it up. The lights in Lab 2 flicker, just once. Probably the climate control kicking in, cycling the heating loop. But Dr. Yoon and I both look up at the same time. We should go, she says. I lock Lab 2 behind us. The door's steel, the lock is industrial grade. The containment box is sealed. The subsample is destroyed. But I'm thinking about those filaments reaching into the air bubble. Breading. I'm thinking about 15,000 years of evolution we don't understand. I'm thinking about Lily blowing out her birthday candles, making a wish. At 1847 hours, the power in C Block goes out. C Block is crew quarters. 8 people sleep there, including Remy. Also including Patterson. The backup generator kicks in after 12 seconds. Our safety systems are redundant. We lose primary power maybe twice a winter. But that's 12 seconds of complete darkness in an Arctic night where the sun doesn't rise until March. I'm in the engineering bay when the alert comes through. Power failure, C Block, cause unknown. I grab my kit and head that way, but Remy's already on the radio. Main breakers thrown. Load surge from somewhere in the distribution system. That's not possible. I say into my radio. We're at minimum load. Skeleton crew means skeleton power draw. I know what I'm looking at. The breaker registered a spike of. He pauses. I hear him talking to someone else, probably Patterson. 17,000 watts over baseline. Just for a second. Then it normalized and the breaker reset. 17,000 watts. That's impossible. Our baseline winter load is maybe 40,000 watts total. A spike that big would mean something drawing nearly half our total capacity in 1 second. Nothing on the platform can do that. Not unless someone turned on every piece of equipment simultaneously. I'm halfway to C Block when Dr. Yoon intercepts me in the corridor. The sample's gone. I stop walking. What? The containment box. Someone opened Lab 2 and took it. That's impossible. Only 3 of us have access codes. 4, she corrects. Patterson, you, me, and Remy. I just checked the access log. The door was opened at 1842 hours. 5 minutes before the power surge. We both start running.
Lab 2's door is open.
Not damaged, not forced. Someone used the access code. The containment box sits on the workbench, lid open. Empty. The core sample is gone. Who opened the door? Ask. Dr. Yoon pulls up the log on her tablet. Her face goes pale. Valdez. Valdez doesn't have access to Lab 2. He's in Houston. According to the access system, Glenn Valdez used his executive override code at 1842 hours. She looks up at me. But that's impossible. Override codes only work on administrative systems, not biological containment. Unless someone reprogrammed the access system. I'm already checking the security panel. The override log shows the entry, timestamp 1842:03. User, Valdez _ authorization level, executive. But below that, buried in the system logs, is another entry I almost miss. A code modification at 1837 hours. Someone added Valdez's credentials to Lab 2's access list. Who has permission to modify access codes? Dr. Yoon asks. Patterson, Remy, me, and Stanton. Wilbur Stanton, our IT technician. He maintains the platform's computer systems, which mostly means fixing frozen terminals and resetting passwords when people forget them. I radio Patterson. We have a problem. By the time Patterson reaches Lab 2, I've pulled the security footage. The camera in the hallway outside Lab 2 shows someone entering at 1842. The figures wearing standard cold weather gear, parka, insulated pants, balaclava covering their face. Impossible to identify. They're inside for 90 seconds, then exit carrying something wrapped in what looks like an emergency blanket. Stanton, Patterson says immediately. He's the only one who could modify access codes without triggering an alert. Why would Stanton steal a contaminated crude sample? Money, Dr. Yoon says quietly. If this organism is unique, if it's a new extremophile species that metabolizes petroleum, that's worth millions in biotech patents. Maybe billions. Patterson's face hardens. Where is Stanton now? I check the personnel tracker. Every crew member wears a radio transponder for safety. If someone goes down in a restricted area, we need to locate them fast. He's in the drilling section. Equipment Bay 3. That's where we store the main crude reservoir tanks. Remy says over the radio. He's been listening on the channel. The ones we're supposed to ship out next week. We all understand at the same time. 17,000 watts. Enough power to heat a 500-gallon crude oil tank from sub-zero storage temperature to room temperature in approximately 90 seconds. He put the sample in the reservoir, I say. He's trying to cultivate it. Patterson's already moving. Lockdown protocol. Nobody leaves the platform. Remy, shut down all heating systems to the drilling section. Freeze that reservoir before. The explosion isn't loud. It's a dull whump that I feel more than hear, transmitted through the platform's steel framework. The lights flicker again. My radio erupts with voices. Remy, fire in drilling section. Equipment Bay 3. Another voice, Takumi, our junior engineer. Breach in the main crude line. Repeat, crude oil breach. I'm running before Patterson can give orders. Dr. Yoon's behind me, Patterson behind her. We hit the drilling section at full sprint and the heat hits us like a wall. The temperature should be maybe 40 degrees in here. We keep it cool to reduce equipment stress, but it's at least 80-90 degrees. Equipment Bay 3's door is blown outward, hinges twisted. Inside, the reservoir tank has ruptured. 500 gallons of crude oil spreading across the floor, steaming in the suddenly warm air. But it's not just crude oil. The black liquid is moving, pulsing, all of it. The entire spill, rippling with that same heartbeat rhythm I saw in the core sample. And things are growing in it. rising from the surface. The filaments, but larger now, thick as fingers. Some of them are reaching toward the overhead lights. Others are crawling across the floor toward the drainage grate, toward the rest of the platform's infrastructure. Wilbur Stanton is in the corner. What's left of him, his body is partially dissolved. That's the only word for it. The flesh on his legs below the knee is gone, just bone showing through, and the crude oil is crawling up his torso. He's not moving. His eyes are open, staring at nothing, but his chest is moving, rising and falling. Something's making his lungs work. Dr. Yoon grabs my arm. We need to evacuate. Right now. We can't evacuate, Patterson says. His voice is hollow. The storm hit early. We're socked in until Friday at the earliest. Then we seal this section, I say. Cut power. Drop the temperature. Freeze the crude before it spreads. Too late, Remy says from the doorway. He's holding a tablet, showing the platform schematic. Red indicators are lighting up across the display. It's in the drainage system. The crude went down the floor grate and it's already spread to, Jesus. It's in half the distribution pipes. How is it spreading that fast? It's not crude oil anymore, Dr. Yoon says. She's staring at Stanton's body, at the thing that's animating his lungs. It's using the petroleum as a transport medium. The organism, the filaments, they're spreading through any crude oil they contact. And petroleum products are in everything. Lubricants, heating oil, diesel for the generators. The lights flicker again. Longer this time. It's in the generator fuel lines, I realize. It's spreading to our power systems. Patterson's already on the radio. All personnel, emergency muster in the canteen. Right now. Bring emergency supplies. 9 people show up. We're missing Stanton, dead in Equipment Bay 3, and Takumi, the junior engineer who reported the crude line breach. Takumi's transponder puts him in the mechanical sublevel, Remy says. Under the drilling section. That's where the main fuel tanks are, I say. If the organism reaches those. We're talking 15,000 gallons of diesel, Patterson interrupts. If that goes up, it'll take the whole platform with it. Dr. Yoon is checking her medical supplies. Emergency trauma kit, basic medications, maybe 3 days of antibiotics for the whole crew. Not nearly enough if we're trapped here. We need to assume the organism will continue spreading through any petroleum-based system. That means generators, heating systems, machinery, lubricants. We need to destroy it, Remy says. Burn it out. Fire on an oil platform? One of the maintenance crew, Prisha, Pakistani woman, been here 2 years, sounds incredulous. That's suicide. So is staying here while that thing infects our life support systems. Remy counters. Patterson holds up his hand for silence. Options. Give me options. Everyone looks at me. I'm the systems engineer. I'm supposed to have answers. I pull up the platform schematic on my tablet. Show them the problem. The organism entered through Equipment Bay 3. It spread through the drainage system which connects to the crude processing infrastructure. That system intersects with fuel lines, lubricant circulation, even the ballast tanks that keep us level on the water. Can we isolate the infected sections? Dr. Yoon asks. Maybe, but we'd have to manually shut valves in the mechanical sublevel. Where Takumi was, Remy corrects quietly. Where Takumi was. I look at Patterson, Dr. Yoon, at the 9 people in this room who trusted me to keep them safe, who trusted the platform systems to work, who trusted that when they signed up for winter rotation on Drake 7, they'd be dealing with frozen pipes and equipment failures, not reanimated crude oil from the Pleistocene. I can isolate the fuel tanks, I say. If I shut down distribution valves 3, 7, and 12, the organism won't be able to reach the main diesel supply. But those valves are manual. Someone has to go down there. You mean someone has to go where Takumi is, Prisha says. Where the thing is. I don't answer. I'm looking at the schematic, calculating distances. response times, access routes. Lily's 7th birthday video plays in my head. Her looking at the camera, making her wish. I'll do it, I say. But if I can't isolate the fuel tanks, we trigger the emergency fire suppression system. Flood the entire mechanical sublevel with halon gas. Kill the organism with oxygen deprivation. That'll destroy every piece of equipment down there, Patterson says. Cost millions to repair. Better than the alternative, Dr. Yoon says. She's looking at me now, really looking at me. I see her understanding what I'm volunteering for. If you flood that section with halon and you're still down there, I know. You'll have maybe 90 seconds to get out before the oxygen level drops below breathable. I know. Patterson's face is gray. We can't afford to lose anyone else. You can't afford to lose the platform, I correct, or the 9 people in this room. 15,000 gallons of diesel infected with that organism? That's not just an explosion. That's a biohazard that'll spread through every platform in the North Slope oil field. Every refinery, every distribution pipeline. Remy puts his hand on my shoulder. I'm going with you.
No.
I need you up here running the suppression system. If something goes wrong, when something goes wrong, you trigger the halon and seal the sublevel. What about Lily? Dr. Yoon asks quietly. Your daughter. I look at her. That's exactly why I'm doing this. The mechanical sublevel smells like death and petroleum. The heating systems partially failed, the organism must have clogged the circulation pumps, and the temperature down here is maybe 20 degrees. My breath comes out in clouds. The emergency lights are on battery backup, casting everything in dim red. I can hear the crude oil dripping, steady, rhythmic, coming from everywhere and nowhere. Valve 3 is 60 feet ahead. Standard gate valve, pneumatic actuator. Should take 30 seconds to close manually if the actuator's dead. I'm moving carefully. The floor's slick with that infected crude. It's everywhere down here, leaked from the processing pipes that run overhead. The black liquid pulses with that heartbeat rhythm. Some patches are growing those filaments. Thick as my thumb now, reaching up toward the pipes like they're trying to climb. One of them brushes my boot. I jerk back. The filament retreats, then reaches out again. Searching, my radio crackles. Remy's voice. Valve 3's actuator is showing dead. You'll have to close it manually. Copy. I'm at the valve now. The hand wheel is covered in frozen condensation. I grip it with both hands and pull. It doesn't move. Frozen solid. I pull a propane torch from my kit, compact one, the kind you use for soldering copper pipes. Fire it up. The flames yellow in the dim red light. I play it over the hand wheel, warming the metal. The ice starts to sublimate. Something moves in my peripheral vision. Takumi's standing 30 feet away. Except it's not Takumi anymore. His chest is moving, breathing, but his eyes are wrong. They're black. Completely black. And crude oil is leaking from his nose, his mouth, his ears, running down his neck and soaking into his collar. He takes a step toward me. His movement's wrong. Stiff, like someone's controlling him from inside. Takumi, my voice sounds hollow in the cold air. He doesn't respond. Takes another step. His mouth opens. Crude oil pours out. I turn back to the valve. The hand wheel's warm enough now. I pull. Turns. The valve's closing. I can hear the flow stopping in the pipes overhead. Takumi's 10 feet away now. I can see the filaments moving under his skin, writhing. His eyes are focused on me with an intensity that's not human. Valve 3 closed. I say into my radio, moving to valve 7. Copy. Takumi, he's here. He's infected. Pause. Then Dr. Yoon's voice. Can you help him? I look at Takumi, at what used to be Takumi, at the thing wearing his body like a puppet.
No.
I move. Takumi follows. He's faster than he should be. The organism's enhancing him somehow, overriding pain receptors, burning through his body's resources to make him move. Valve 7 is in the next section. I have to pass through a narrow access tunnel. single file width. Takumi's behind me. I can hear him breathing, that wet, rattling sound of lungs filling with fluid. I'm thinking about Lily, about missing her 8th birthday, about the divorce I won't be there to finalize, about how Patricia, my ex, my wife, the woman I still love even though we couldn't make it work, will explain to our daughter that Daddy died on an oil platform in Alaska doing something brave and stupid. Will Patricia say it was brave or just stupid? Valve 7's actuator is working. The valve closes automatically when I hit the manual override. That's one piece of good luck. Maybe the only piece I'm getting today. Valve 7 closed, I report. One more, Remy says. Valve 12. Then get out of there. Valve 12 is in the deepest section, where the main fuel tanks connect to the distribution system. It's also where the crude oil leak is worst. I can hear it from here. The sound of liquid dripping, flowing, pooling in the darkness ahead. Takumi's still following me. He hasn't attacked, just following, like he's hurting me, driving me deeper into the sublevel, toward the thing growing in the fuel tank section. I reach the final access tunnel. Stop, pull out my flashlight, shine it ahead. The tunnel floor is covered in crude oil, 6 inches deep, maybe more, and it's all infected. The entire surface is moving, pulsing, alive with those filaments. Some of them are thick as my wrist now, reaching up the walls, spreading across the ceiling. In the darkness ahead, I can see something larger, something that used to be the main fuel tank. It's ruptured, probably from the internal pressure of the organism growing inside it. 15,000 gallons of diesel fuel, all infected, all transforming into this petroleum-based life form that should not exist. The mass is huge, maybe 12 feet across, pulsing. The filaments aren't just reaching anymore, they're forming structures, networks, something that looks almost like organs. I can see chambers forming inside the mass, filling and emptying with that heartbeat rhythm. It's building itself, evolving in real time, and it's beautiful. That's the worst part. It's beautiful. The way the filaments catch the red emergency light, the way the crude oil flows through the structures like blood through veins, the geometric patterns forming and reforming as it grows. It's wrong and it shouldn't exist, but it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Valve 12's on the other side. I say into my radio. My voice sounds distant, disconnected. I have to go through it. Negative, Patterson says. Abort. We trigger the halon suppression now. Get out of there. If I don't close valve 12, the organism reaches the backup generators. You lose all power. Everyone dies. Silence on the radio. They know I'm right. Remy, I say. You listening? I'm here. When I close valve 12, you wait 60 seconds. Then you flood the sublevel. No matter what, even if I'm still down here, you understand. I understand. His voice breaks, but I don't. 60 seconds. That's an order. I step into the crude oil. It's cold. Colder than it should be. The organism's pulling heat from the environment to fuel its growth. My boots sink 6 inches into the infected petroleum. The filaments immediately start climbing my legs. I can feel them through my insulated pants. Searching, probing, I wade forward. Each step is harder than the last. The crude is thickening, becoming more viscous. The organism's changing its properties. In another hour, maybe less, this won't be liquid anymore. It'll be solid, living petroleum-based flesh. Takumi stopped at the tunnel entrance, not following anymore, like he's delivered me, like his job is done. The mass ahead of me pulses. A sound comes from it, not human, not mechanical, something in between. A low vibration that I feel in my chest. It knows I'm here. Valve 12 is 10 feet away. Might as well be 10 miles. The crude is up to my knees now. The filaments are everywhere, wrapping around my legs, my waist. I can feel them trying to penetrate my cold weather gear, finding weak points, seams, zippers, 5 feet, The mass extends a larger filament, thick as my arm, toward me. Curious, tasting the air. The tip splits open and I see something inside that might be sensors. Might be mouths. Might be both. 3 feet. I'm pulling myself forward with handholds on the pipes overhead. My legs are barely working. The cold. The organism. Both. 2 feet. I reach out. My gloved hand touches the valve handwheel. The large filament strikes. It wraps around my wrist. Tightens. I can feel it burning through the glove. Acid. The organism secretes acid to break down organic material. To break down me, I scream. Pull. The filament holds. Gets tighter. My other hand finds the valve. I turn it. The wheel's smooth. Well maintained. Closes in 4 rotations. The organism understands. The entire mass convulses. The filament releases my wrist and strikes at my face. I duck. Catches my radio. Rips it from my shoulder. The radio disappears into the crude oil. Valve 12 closed. I'm shouting, but I don't know if they can hear me. The radio's gone. I'm alone down here. I turn. Start wading back toward the tunnel. My right hand is useless. I can see bone through the dissolved glove. The pain hasn't hit yet. Shock probably. Or the cold numbing everything. The mass behind me makes that sound again. Louder. Angrier. The crude oil around me starts to move. All of it. Flowing back toward the mass. Pulling me with it. I grab a pipe with my left hand. Hold on. The current's strong. The organism's pulling all of itself together. Concentrating. Maybe preparing to spread. Maybe preparing to hunt. Takumi appears in the tunnel entrance. Blocking it. No, not blocking. He's reaching out his hand. I don't think. I just move. Release the pipe. Let the current carry me toward the tunnel. Takumi grabs my left hand with both of his. His skin's cold, wet with crude oil, but his grip is strong. He pulls. We're in the tunnel. The current's weaker here. I'm crawling now. Takumi's ahead of me, still pulling, leading me out. Behind us, the mass screams. That's the only word for it. The sound of 15,000 gallons of infected diesel fuel realizing its food source is escaping. 40 seconds. That's how long it's been since I closed valve 12. Remy's got 20 seconds before he triggers the halon suppression. Takumi and I reach the access tunnel. He's moving faster now, dragging me. My legs don't work anymore. The filaments got too deep. I can feel them in my muscles, in my blood. 20 seconds. We're in the main corridor. Takumi's running. I'm being pulled, bouncing off walls. My right hand leaves red streaks on the steel. Blood. Finally bleeding. 10 seconds. The emergency bulkhead is ahead. The halon system's failsafe. Once it triggers, the bulkhead drops. Seals the sublevel. Everything on the wrong side suffocates. 5 seconds. Takumi throws me. Actually throws me. I hit the floor on the other side of the bulkhead threshold. Slides 6 feet. Takumi doesn't follow. He's standing on the other side, in the sublevel, looking at me with those black eyes. Crude oil running from his nose and mouth. He smiles. The bulkhead drops. 2,000 pounds of steel. Crashes into place with a sound like thunder. The halon system triggers. I can hear the gas flooding the sublevel. Hear the screaming of the mass as the oxygen level drops. Hear Takumi's body falling. I'm on my back, staring at the ceiling. My right hand is a ruined mess. My legs won't move. I can feel the filaments inside me, growing, spreading, using my body's warmth to multiply. Dr. Yoon's face appears above me. We need to get you to medical, right now. Lily, I say. Tell Lily. You'll tell her yourself. Dr. Yoon interrupts, but I can see it in her eyes. She's looking at my hand, at my legs, at the black veins spreading up my neck. She knows I'm infected. She knows what that means. They carry me to medical. Remy's there. Patterson's there. Prisha and the others. Everyone who's left. Dr. Yoon works fast. Cuts away my gear. My right hand is destroyed, bone visible through dissolved flesh. She amputates at the wrist. No time. I scream. My legs are worse. The filaments are inside the muscle tissue. She can see them moving under my skin. Black threads spreading through white flesh. We have to amputate, she says, looking at Patterson, not at me. Both legs, above the knee. It's the only chance to stop the spread. Do it, Patterson says.
No.
My voice, barely a whisper. Dr. Yoon looks at me now. If we don't remove the infected tissue, I'm dead anyway. I can feel it. The filaments reaching my torso, my chest, moving toward my heart. You know I am. She doesn't answer. That's answer enough. How long? Ask. Hours. Maybe less. She's checking my vitals. Blood pressure dropping. Heart rate climbing. My body trying to fight an infection it can't understand. The organisms metabolizing your tissues, using your organic compounds to fuel growth. Like it did with Takumi, she confirms. But he was exposed to a much larger concentration. You might have more time. Might put me in the containment room, I say. When I turn, when it takes over, you can't let me out. You understand. Patterson's shaking his head. We're not giving up. The storm's breaking. Helicopters inbound. ETA 90 minutes. We get you to Anchorage, maybe. Maybe nothing. I grab his arm with my left hand. The only hand I have left. Listen to me. The organism spreads through petroleum products. Every platform in the North Slope uses the same crude oil supply. If this gets to the mainland, if it reaches the refineries, the distribution pipelines. We know, Patterson says quietly. Then you know you can't let me leave this platform. You can't let any of this leave. I look at Dr. Yoon. The sample, the infected crude. My body when I'm gone. It all stays here. It all burns. We're not burning the platform, Patterson says. You are. Because it's the only way to be sure. I'm getting cold. The organism's pulling heat from my body faster now. Remy, you're in charge. After I'm gone, you trigger the emergency destruct. That system hasn't been tested in 20 years, Remy says. It might not even work. It'll work. I maintained it. I know it works. Every offshore platform has a last resort destruction system. Thermite charges placed at critical structural points. You trigger it, you've got 10 minutes to evacuate before the whole structure goes down. What about the helicopter? Prisha asks. If we trigger destruct, you tell them to wait offshore. You put everyone on life rafts. The helicopter picks you up after the platform's gone. I look at each of them. 9 people. 9 people I'm responsible for. You don't tell Valdez. You don't tell Houston. You trigger destruct and you make it look like an accident. Equipment failure. The storm. Whatever story keeps corporate from investigating too closely. They'll investigate, Patterson says. Let them. They'll find evidence of petroleum contamination. Biological hazard. They'll blame it on containment failure. Bad luck. They'll never know what it really was. Because if they knew, if they understood what 15,000 years of evolution in petroleum darkness created, they'd go looking for more. They'd drill deeper, find more infected deposits, try to weaponize it or profit from it or study it, and it would spread. Dr. Yoon's putting electrodes on my chest, monitoring my heart. Your cardiac rhythms becoming irregular. The organisms affecting your nervous system. I can feel it. My thoughts are getting distant, like I'm watching myself from far away. The filaments are reaching my brain. Containment room, I say again. Now, they move me. The room's designed for hazardous material storage. Steel walls, shield door, small window of reinforced glass. Dr. Yoon gives me something for the pain. Not enough to kill me, just enough to make it bearable. Morphine, probably. Dilaudid. Something from the emergency medical supplies. I'm sorry, she says. Not your fault. My voice sounds strange. Thick. The filaments are in my throat now. Tell Lily. I stop. What do I tell her? That I died saving people? That I died doing my job? That I missed her 8th birthday because I was turning into a petroleum-based life form on an Arctic oil platform? Tell her I loved her. I say finally. Tell her I was thinking about her birthday video, the unicorn cake. Tell her I saw her make her wish. Dr. Yoon nods. Writes something down, like she's taking notes. Like she'll remember to tell my daughter after I'm gone and they've burned this platform to the waterline. They leave. The door seals. I can see them through the window. Remy's crying. Big guy, former Marine, seen things in Fallujah that would break most people. He's crying. Patterson's on the radio, calling the helicopter, telling them to hold position offshore. I'm alone now. Just me and the organism growing inside me. My chest hurts. Not pain. Pressure. Something expanding inside my ribs. I can feel my heart struggling, trying to pump blood through vessels that are filling with crude oil. I'm thinking about Lily, about Patricia, about the last time we were all together, summer before the separation. We went to Cannon Beach. Lily built a sandcastle. Patricia and I held hands. For maybe 10 minutes we were still a family. I should have held on longer. My vision's going dark. Not because I'm dying, because my eyes are filling with crude oil. I can taste it in my mouth. Petroleum and rot. The thing inside me is taking over. I try to remember Lily's face, her birthday video, her eyes looking at the camera, looking at me, making her wish. I hope she wished for something good. I hope she didn't waste it wishing I'd come home. The helicopter pilot filed his report 3 days after Drake 7 went down. Equipment failure during the storm. Platform destruct system triggered by electrical fault. 9 survivors recovered from life rafts. 2 casualties. Wilbur Stanton, IT technician, and myself. Valdez sent investigators. They found biological contamination in the wreckage. Petroleum-based organism of unknown origin. Samples couldn't be recovered. Thermite charges burned too hot. Everything melted. Everything sank. The investigation concluded the contamination resulted from improper drilling procedures during winter operations. Recommendations were filed. New protocols implemented. The North Slope oil field operations continued. Dr. Yoon sent a letter to Patricia, explained what happened, called me a hero, said I saved 9 people. Patricia read it to Lily at my funeral. Open casket, no body, just a flag and some personal effects they recovered from my quarters. My DeWalt impact wrench, my tablet with the birthday video still saved on it. Lily's 8 now. Patricia sent Remy a photo last month. Birthday party. Unicorn cake again. Lily's smiling, but there's something in her eyes. Something distant. She knows I'm not coming home. Remy quit Valdez Petroleum 2 months after Drake 7. Moved back to Terrebonne Parish. Bought a shrimp boat. Told Patricia, in a letter that he can't work around crude oil anymore. Can't stand the smell. Has nightmares about filaments growing in the fuel tanks. Dr. Yoon's working for CDC now. Emerging Infectious Diseases Division. She specializes in extremophile organisms. Ancient bacteria preserved in ice. Organisms that survive in petroleum deposits. She knows what to look for. Patterson's still with Valdez. Different platform. Manages operations in the Gulf of Mexico now. Warmer water. No winter shutdowns. He recommended me for a posthumous safety award. The company gave Patricia a check. $25,000. Insurance plus the award bonus. Patricia used it for Lily's college fund. I'm still in the containment room. They never came back for me. The platform went down, but the containment room was designed to survive. Sealed. Airtight. Sank with the rest of the structure to the ocean floor. 400 feet of water above me. Cold. Dark. I'm still alive. That's not the right word. I'm still functioning. The organism didn't kill me. Transformed me. My body's mostly crude oil now. Filaments where muscle used to be. Petroleum-based neural tissue replacing human neurons. I don't need oxygen anymore. don't need food. The organism metabolizes the small amounts of organic material still present in my body, recycles it, makes it last.
I'm aware.
That's the worst part. I'm still aware, still thinking, still remembering. I remember Lily's birthday video, the unicorns, her eyes looking at the camera. I remember Patricia's hand in mine at Cannon Beach. I remember Takumi smiling as the bulkhead dropped. Smiling because he knew what was coming, what I'd become. The organism's still growing. Slowly, it's learned to extract nutrients from the steel walls, from the rubber seals, from anything organic it can find. It's patient. It's got time. Eventually it'll breach the containment, reach the ocean floor, find petroleum deposits in the sediment, spread. But that'll take years, maybe decades. I've got time to think about what I did. I saved 9 people. That's true. I stopped the organism from spreading to the mainland, from infecting the entire petroleum distribution network. But I also left Lily without a father, Patricia without a husband, ex-husband technically, but we both knew we'd eventually fix things, eventually get back together, eventually be a family again. I left them for 9 strangers and an oil platform. Was it worth it? I do the math. 9 people saved. Millions potentially saved if the organism had reached the mainland. Lily growing up without a father. The equation doesn't balance. It never balances. I'm alone in the dark at the bottom of the ocean, turning into something that isn't human anymore. And all I can think about is Lily blowing out her birthday candles, making her wish. I hope she wished for something better than me. I hope she wished for a father who'd be there for her 9th birthday, her 10th, her high school graduation, her wedding. I hope she didn't waste it wishing I'd come back, because I can't come back. I'm 400 feet underwater in a containment room attached to a sunken oil platform, and I'm going to be here until the organism finally consumes the last of my human tissue or until the containment room rusts through and the ocean pressure crushes what's left of me. Whichever comes first. Patterson filed the report. Equipment failure, electrical fault, accidental destruct. Nobody knows about the organism. Nobody knows about Stanton trying to steal it. Nobody knows about Takumi saving my life just so I could die slower. Nobody knows I'm still alive, still aware, still thinking about Lily's birthday video every single day in the cold dark at the bottom of the ocean. Still doing the math. 9 people saved. 1 daughter growing up without a father. The equation doesn't balance. It never will.